Going on, everybody? Jeff Lightsy Jr. here with the Black Boss channel. Be sure to hit the thumbs up button, like, share, subscribe, and the notification bell because we upload all the time. Now, the title of this video is Pittsburgh continues to allow Big Ben Roethlisberger to ruin their team. And here's what I mean by that. I'm not going to use any stats for this. I'm not going to use any analytics. I'm not going to use anything. I'm just going to tell you what I watch when I see the Steelers play the game. Right, Pittsburgh was the last remaining undefeated team last season. They started the year out 11-0, and everything looked all good, and everything looked all glamorous, and everything was so good. Their defense was balling out of control before Devin Bush got hurt, before Bud Dupree got hurt. Minka Fitzpatrick was having a great season. T.J. Watt probably should have won Defensive Player of the Year, or Aaron Donald won, which is always well deserving. But T.J. Watt had a career year, all kinds of crazy stuff. And still, even though they were 11-0, nobody was scared about them winning the Super Bowl. The Bucs came around, like we kind of saw the Bucs coming, especially those who betted on them preseason. The Chiefs were always going to be an issue. Green Bay was having a stellar season. Like, these were the teams we were talking about winning the Super Bowl. None of it included Pittsburgh. And here's why. It's because of Ben Roethlisberger. Ben Roethlisberger no longer has it. He's not it. He's not it. And it's not all his fault, right? Like, I mean, he's old. He's 38 years old. Now, 38 is like a million in football years, but we've got guys like Tom Brady and Drew Brees recently, and now even Aaron Rodgers. They're playing to their like 40, and Brady just won a Super Bowl at 43. Like, we got guys that just have these extended, super long careers, but reasonably 38 is pretty old. We just seen Phillip Rivers retire. He was in the same draft class as Ben Roethlisberger. Eli Manning retired like a year or two ago. He was in the same draft class as Ben Roethlisberger. So, like, you're normally at the end of your football career. If not, it's over by the time you hit 38. So there's nothing wrong with Ben Roethlisberger being over the hill. The man's accomplished. He'll be a first ballot Hall of Famer. He's got 2 Super Bowls. He's good. But this team is allowing him to handicap them in more ways than one. One, it's because he has a $41 million cap hit going into next season. They're probably going to rework that, right? Like, they're probably going to try to get that down in somehow, some way. But it is still there. As of right now, today, it is still there. Secondly, they haven't ever even considered drafting his replacement. They've never considered moving on from Ben Roethlisberger. It is one thing, the reason why the Patriots, besides the fact they had Tom Brady, one reason, a major reason why the Patriots were so successful for 20 years is because they always moved off a player a year too early, never a year too late. And now we're probably a couple of years too late for Ben Roethlisberger, especially since Art Rooney II have already come out and said that Big Ben is going to be on the team in 21 and honestly, for the foreseeable future, because they don't have a contingency plan. They don't have a plan after him. Their backup right now is Dwayne Haskins, who hasn't yet to prove that he's it yet. He hasn't proven anything. He's proven that he's very immature and couldn't handle the spotlight of being an NFL quarterback, starting quarterback, and was cut 2 years after being drafted in the first round. And Mason Rudolph, who's clearly shown he ain't it. He's clearly shown he's not the future. And they've allowed Ben Roethlisberger to scare them from drafting the heir apparent, scare them from getting set up for the future, scare them from getting a quarterback who is going to be there for the next decade and not the next 10 months. Like, that is a problem. Think about the other teams with aging quarterbacks like Ben Roethlisberger. Green Bay drafted their heir apparent. Now, Tom Brady left the cupboard bare in New England, but they had originally drafted who they thought was going to be their heir apparent. That was Jimmy Garoppolo. And Tom Brady had them ship him out of town. Now, Tom won a couple more Super Bowls after that, so, all was good. But he had them ship him out of town. So it wasn't like other teams with aging quarterbacks. Phillip Rivers had to move on from the Chargers because guess what? They were like, yo, you too old. It's time to go ahead and make some changes. Go ahead and make a move. And they drafted their heir apparent in Justin Herbert. They're looking pretty good. Teams with aging quarterbacks, except Pittsburgh, have not decided what's going to happen next. The Saints are kind of in that pickle too. And I've talked about how Drew Brees has kind of left them in limbo and what's going to happen next. But when you have an aging quarterback, and it's okay to draft the next guy. But Ben Roethlisberger has been so adamant about not helping guys when they draft quarterback, whether it's Josh Dobbs or Mason Rudolph or whoever. When they do draft guys, he's been very adamant about not helping them out, not helping them to potentially be his successor. It's like he's insecure or something. And Pittsburgh has enabled him to be that. But we know Pittsburgh has been an enabling organization over the last few years. They enabled Antonio Brown to go out and act a fool. He produced on the field, but he did act a fool. They enabled Juju Smith-Schuster to go out and make all these TikToks, and teams took that personally. And they enabled Ben Roethlisberger for almost 2 decades to do whatever the hell he wants, whether it was practice, not practice. It's been reported greatly. It's not a great practice player. And now his natural gifts are gone. He's not as talented as he once was 10 years ago. And they're enabling him to hold them hostage and not get the heir apparent and not get a quarterback that can lead them for the next decade. That is a problem, Pittsburgh. Calling to Pittsburgh, that is a problem. You guys need the next quarterback. But it looks like you're going to ride with Ben and allow him to hold you hostage and be mediocre again, because now you have potentially the worst quarterback in the entire division. Lamar Jackson. Most people are taking Lamar over Big Ben Roethlisberger right now. Joe Burrow, if he's healthy. People are taking Joe Burrow over Ben Roethlisberger right now. And some might even take Baker Mayfield over Ben Roethlisberger right now. And by some people, I'm saying me. I'm taking Baker over Ben right now. That just is what it is. Leave your thoughts in the comments down below. Once again, I'm Jeff Lightsy Jr. with the Black Boss Channel. Be sure to hit the thumbs up button, like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you guys.